So hello everybody, welcome to today's video. Today my friends, I'm very happy to be here to present you another build guide on Path of Exile, and this time we are talking about a new and different build than with a Cyclone build. Since you have seen my build guides on YouTube, there are almost every time about Cyclone builds. So this time it's an Autobomber, as you can see on the screen. A lightning Autobomber with Herald of Thunder. And what is special about this build, it's one of our viewers build, that means of OST, one of our loyal viewers, an amazing person. Really thanks, or special thanks at this moment to him, my friends. So, and now about the build. I mean, if you have seen my latest streams, like let's say the last 3 weeks, I was really just playing with this build, a really nice build, and yeah, I mean, that's why we are doing the video today. And yeah, so for every video that I'm doing or build guide, we start up with the pros and cons, then we are gonna go over to skill gems, then gear flasks, skill tree and remainings, then we are or I'm gonna show you how I play this build, and at the end we are just gonna play a T16 map, just to let you see how strong or how weak it is, so that you see if you like it also. And as all of our build guides, I'm just gonna paste the Pastebin link into the description, so that you can, as you please, take your time, watch the whole build on Path of Building, and then you can copy as it pleases you, my friends. And also on this build, I'm gonna also paste the link where OST has based his build on, or actually this build is based on. So my friends, let's go then for the first category, the pros and the cons. Let's go. So my friends, for the first category, we are going to talk about the pros and cons, and we are starting with the pros. So the first pro is that this build does a ton of damage. It doesn't matter if it's single targeting or clearing, it is always like crazy damage and more than enough. One of our viewers, he is like also our expert when we are talking about builds on POE. Nephilium has just calculated the build in Path of Building, and he really told me that we are doing like over 32 million damage when everything is activated. So I mean, that's a huge amount, maybe even over DPS, but whatever. Then the second pro is it feels really amazing. I mean, you are just running through the mobs, you see them pop everywhere, like getting killed and stuff. It really is amazing, and I'm sure if you have the right MXT, it even looks better. So the third thing is it's easy to play. I mean, I'm gonna show you in the fifth category how I play it, but I can tell you it's very easy to play. I mean, you are really not using a lot of keys. I mean, the most important is just to avoid the attacks of the other monsters. That's all. Then it's a very fast build. Really, the movement speed of this build is amazing. Really, you don't really. I mean, we are using for sure our Quicksilver Flask, but the build itself, the character is running very fast. Okay, and then the last of the pros, it's very nice to map. Really, if you want, you can really go fast through every map if you want to do as many maps as possible in a short period of time. Okay, and then for the cons, we have three cons. It's a very expensive build. I mean, in this build there are over 200 exalted orbs invested. You can surely go for less, but if you want to copy this, it's gonna be hard to go under 200 exalted orbs. Then the second thing is it's a bit squishy. I mean, if you check, okay, we have 4,400 live and 3,800 shield, but I mean, the most important about this build is, as I said already, in the previous point is that you have to avoid or try to avoid the attacks of the monsters. Since you are not attacking really, you know, or activating, you can really just focus on that, okay? Because the rest attacks are done automatically, but if you don't pay attention, if you play like me, just go into the horde of monsters without even thinking of their explosions, and you're gonna die very often. But if you pay a bit attention, you are not too much greedy, you should do it. And then the last thing is you can do elemental reflection mods on maps. So if you do them, you're gonna kill yourself. So that's it with the pros and the cons. Let's go for the skill gems. Let's go. So in this category, we are talking about the skill gems. We are just gonna start with our weapon. We are using energy leech support with awakened lightning penetration support. As you can see, I mean, go for the awakened if you can. If not, you go for the normal lightning penetration. Then inspiration support with conch effect support. Then the Stormbrand, that's our main skill on it, and power charge on critical support. So that's what we are using on our weapon. Then on the helmet, we are gonna go for 4 linked. So we are gonna go for cast 1 damage taken support. Very important, it has to be level 1. Keep it on level 1, okay? Then our Shock Nova on level 2. Okay, I have quality 14, but yeah, I mean quality 20, it's better than 14 for sure. Then the Cold Snap on level 7, okay, important to keep it that low. And here Wave of Conviction, sorry, on level 1. So keep in mind, cast 1 damage take on 1, Wave of Conviction on 1, then our Shock Nova on level 2, and the Cold Snap on level 7. So, and then we are gonna go for our body armor, where we have our Herald of Thunder, okay, our main skill, with Awakened Elemental Focus support. There again, go for the Awakened one if you can. If not, you go for the normal one. Then Awakened Lightning Penetration support, again the same. Okay, Awakened is always better. Then an Energy Leech support, the inspiration support again, and the increased critical strikes support. Okay, that's it for the 6 linked here. Then on our pair of gloves, we are using again a 4 linked with Assassin's Mark. Okay, the Awakened Curse on hit support, the conductivity on level 20. Okay, and lastly our Orb of Storms on level 20. For sure, as you can see, I have always like 20, but if you can invest a bit more, you can go for 21 and quality 23. It's always better, but that's what I am using. And then lastly, for the skill gems on our pair of boots, we are using Arcane Search support with Second Wind support, Flame Dash, our movement skill, and lastly our fastest casting support. Okay, the 4 linked right here. So as you can see, we are linking everything. So here 2 6 linked and 3 4 linked, and that's it, my friends. So let's go now for the gear and the flasks. So, and now we are talking about the gear and the flasks. We are just starting with our weapon. As you can see, we are using a stuff with 100% increased global critical strike chance, what is huge for our build. Then lightning damage to spells. Maximum power charges, very important. Okay, increased damage per power charge, also very important. Then we have flat increased lightning damage, and then the gain 60% of lightning damage as extra chaos damage. So there is one very important mod missing if you can afford to have it on your weapon. Also along with those mods is the +2 to all skill gems. That would really boost your damage. So now for the helmet, please ignore the enchantment. I was running some labyrinths, and I was not lucky enough to get the right enchantment on this base, but you know what is very important for this build as enchantment. I mean, also on the link that I'm gonna put into the video description, you will see which enchantment you're looking for on your helmet. Okay, then we have, I mean, an energy shield based helmet with maximum life. Okay, then fire and cold resistance at max, and then we have +1 to maximum power charges. Very important again. So more power charges, that means more damage, and the nearby enemies have -9% to lightning resistance. Very good also. Then as amulet, you're gonna go for the badge of the brotherhood. Very expensive, so if you can afford it, go for it. Then we have two of the same rings, my friends, the Storm Secret Topaz ring. There is not much to say about it, so go for it. The better the rolls, better the ring. Okay, then the body armor, very important as you can see, but also very expensive. Why? I mean, the maximum life, then with the resistances, but what is very important here is 10% chance to gain a frenzy charge on hit, and the explodey. I mean, the enemies you kill explode, dealing 3% of their life as physical damage, what is very important for clearing. And then we have just on top the gain 10% of maximum life as extra maximum energy shield, what is very important for sustaining this build so that you don't die so often. Then we are using this pair of gloves. I mean, it's a very nice one for this build, and it's not really expensive, so go for it. And then very nice belt that you can see here, the increased lightning damage with very good life, because you have 99 life plus the strength. So and then you have your resistances with increased damage. So yeah, you're going for it with a basal jewel on it with critical strike chance, very important. And yeah, ignore the fire damage to spells if you can. Go for flat lightning damage or anything else that you could use. I mean, like resistances or so, if they are not capped. Then on our pair of boots, we are really looking for the increased movement speed 35%, as you can see, or you go for 30 if you can't afford one like this. Then we have our life with resistances, and very important, the elusive and the tailwind. Okay, on the pair of boots, if you can afford it, those are like very nice boots to go for. So, and now the flasks. We are using two life flasks. Okay, the first one is removes freeze, and the second one is removes bleeding. Okay, it's very important to have those two. Then on our quicksilver, we are using burn removal. And then for the extra damage, we are going for the bottled fate. Okay, if you can afford it. And lastly, the Cinder Swallow urn, what is like, let's say it's our life flask because of the recover, and also at the same time our booster for critical strike chance. So I mean, that was it with the gear and the flask. And now let's go for the skill tree and the remainings. Let's go. So my friends, about the skill tree and the remainings, we are gonna just start with the ascendancy, where you go for assassin, and the first lap that you will do, you will go for unstable infusion. Then the second one, you will go for deadly infusion. Then you will go for ambush and assassinate, and lastly for mistwalker. That's the first thing to say. And then about the skill tree, you will just copy as you can see it here. And on all of our jewels, we want always like the max critical strike multiplier that we can have, with at the same time increase maximum life. As you can see, I have almost identical jewels here. The only thing that is very important is here our timeless jewel. You will go for this one. Okay, why? Because we want the corrupted soul here, what is very nice to survive on this build, okay? And then you will go here on our natural instinct if you really can afford it, okay? You will just copy it like this, as you can see it here. And lastly, on our skill tree, I mean, don't forget the run binder. I mean, it's not a secret. I mean, you will take the path of building link and you will just copy it. But what is very important also to say is the cluster jewels, where you will try to go for a cluster jewel or a large cluster jewel, as you can see on the screen, where you will link two medium cluster jewels like you're seeing here, okay? And you will then use this calamitous visions, very important for this build. And on the other side, you're gonna go for a small cluster jewel, as you can see here, for sustaining, okay? So as you can see here, it's huge. I mean, with the cluster jewels, the new opportunities or the new ways you can like really make your build stronger is like so many times more than usual before the cluster jewels were implanted into the game. So there is not much more to say about the skill tree. Now the remainings, it's the Pantheon, where on the major god you will go for Soul of the Brine King, okay? And for the minor god you will go for Soul of Shakari, okay? So that's the what I can say. And now let's go for how I play this build. Let's go. So and now, how do I play this build? I mean, I didn't lie to you when I told you that it's a very easy build to play. The only thing that you have to activate every time is your Herald of Thunder, okay? And then you can just ignore it. Then we have move only on our left click, middle click, nothing. Our flame dash on our right click, okay? Then Stormbrand on Q, okay? That's actually the one that I'm always using when I know that I will like there is a big number of monsters incoming, or I'm gonna go for a boss fight, or after a phase on a boss. You will double click it, okay? So you're gonna put two Stormbrands on the ground, okay? That they will do their work themselves. It's automated. And then our Orb of Storms that you will be clicking so often as you can, my friends. So there's not much more to say. All the other things are like automated. I told you when I didn't lie to you when I told you that this build is very easy to play. So now let's go for the last category, the gameplay. So and now I'm gonna show you how this build looks like on the tier 16 map. For that we are just gonna use prominent map, okay, very easily without anything like normal, and we are just gonna enter and you will see how this build does. So let's go. Sorry, this is like okay, so let's go. No, I'm not gonna go for the Delirium. Just okay, I clicked on Q, W and E, and here we go. As you can see, I can actually just run through the map without clicking anything else. You see that the build is like really doing the job, okay? Look, you just run through it. The exploded chest is like really doing everything you need. Then here you can click on Q and E, you know, sometimes the E you can be clicking like. And then now let's go for the boss. Q, Q, E. And there you see our flasks. Also you can activate them as often as you can, as you want, or as you can. But you see it's a very easy build to play. You just run for 90% of the maps you don't need to click on anything, okay? You just see your enemies getting killed, and for the rest you are done, okay? As you can see, it's a simple build to play, like really automate, like an Autobomber. It's my first that I've done, and to be honest, I'm very proud of it, and it looks really, really good and fun to play. So for the rest, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this build as much as me. Special thanks again to our friend OST. Okay, and for the rest, don't forget to like, to comment for more, to subscribe for more, even more videos, my friends. And for the rest, if you want me to try out your build, if it's strong enough, we will do a build guide about it. Please hit me up, join our streams on Twitch, and we are good to go. So for the rest, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day, nice night, and see us on the next video on YouTube or on the next stream on Twitch. Bye bye, my friends. Love ya. Bye.